Hi, my name is Luke McClellan, and I'm a theology teacher at Rockhurst High School. I look very forward to sharing with you the vitae about St. Kieran. St. Kieran the Elder, also known as St. Kieran of Sigir, is one of the 12 apostles of Ireland. While there are more than 20 St. Kierans in the history of Ireland, I chose him because his life bore such a resemblance to the biblical narratives found in the New Testament, especially those of John the Baptist. Additionally, much like other vitae, his miracles mirror those of Jesus Christ. Much of his life is known through legend, but similar to the other saints we have studied, his vitae is quite comparable to those found in the Golden Legend. Hagiographers disagree on numerous details concerning his life. Some believe he predates St. Patrick. Others staunchly support him coming after. No official birth date has been recorded, but most hagiographies and other legends place his birth in the 4th, 5th, or even by some accounts 6th century, on Cape Clear Island, Ireland, to his father Legin, a carpenter, and Leodon, his mother. Interestingly, his mother also was canonized a saint. Later in his life, she brought a group of women to her son's Christian community who devoted their lives to God. To me, it was quite reminiscent of Augustine and his mother from earlier this semester. Legend has it that his mother was pregnant with Kieran when she had a dream that a star fell from heaven and came to rest on her. It was said to Leodon by the knowledgeable people of her day, "Thou wilt bear a son, whose fame and whose virtues shall to the world's latter end be great." Like many biblical stories, a miraculous birth narrative is indicative of the importance and purpose of its characters. Kieran was born into a non-Christian Ireland before the mass conversions occurred. In his childhood, it is said that he was a sweet and kind young boy who loved animals so much that he could tame them. One such tale says that a bird that was injured by a kite that was flying nearby fell right in front of him. He took that half-dead bird, rejuvenated it miraculously. These are the earliest parallels to that of John the Baptist, establishing Kieran as a wilderness figure. Hearing of Christianity, Kieran decided to travel to Rome to advance his education. During his time in Rome, he studies Christianity under the abbot of Rome and is later baptized. He remains there for 20 years in study. The Romans saw his piety, his absolute devotion to his faith. He would go on to be ordained. It is also while he is in Italy that he meets St. Patrick, before Patrick was a bishop and returns to Ireland. Patrick said to Kieran, "Precede me in Ireland, and in the marching of her northern with her southern part, in her central point, thou shalt find a well. At such well build thou monastery, there shall thine honor abide forever, and thy resurrection be." Patrick then gave him a bell that would ring once he came upon the holy well, signaling that he was in the right place where the church should be built. Once again, we see a striking similarity between John the Baptist and Kieran. He paves the way for Patrick in Ireland. He is the initial messenger. Additionally, upon his return to Ireland, Kieran builds a little hermitage for himself at the well near Sigir, where he spends his days alone in the wilderness. Like John, Kieran wraps himself in the skins of animals. Legend even says that his first disciples were the animals of the countryside, including a boar who tried to attack him. Kieran was said to have been able to heal all these animals, and wounded animals would come from all over to be healed. Words of these healing capabilities spread to the people, and this period of isolation for Kieran comes to an end as more and more flock to him, hoping for it to be healed. Ultimately, he would, as Patrick asked, build a monastery around his home in Sigir. The monastery would become so famous that it was used as the resting place for many of the kings of Ossory. Throughout the course of his life, many miracles were attributed to Kieran. One man brought the corpse of his dead son to Kieran. He prayed to the Lord, and the son was brought back to life. The son goes on to live a long life, spreads the gospel, and faithfully serves the Lord. Once, when Kieran was tasked with feeding the many companions of St. Patrick, he was told that there was not a sufficient amount for the crowd. He goes on to bless the meat and the well where the water was. The meat feeds everyone, and the water in the well is turned to wine, drawing more parallels to the gospel. It is said that throughout his life he was visited by angels, and it is of no surprise that towards the end of his life He heard them one last time, preparing him for his end. As he grew ill, he turned to his followers and humbly enjoined them to follow God's commandments. He died shortly thereafter, and in the same evening of his death, 10 bishops who he had ordained passed away and joined him in heaven. His feast day is now celebrated on the same day as his mother, Leodon, March 5th. He is the patron saint of Ossory. I really enjoyed looking at his life. The vitae I read and pulled from were so similar to our earlier readings this semester. And the connections that are made in these vitae about St. Kieran are reflections of so many stories found in the Bible. They use countless miracles to convey this point and never failed to display the virtues Kieran embodied. I particularly chose this because it gave me an opportunity and my son, Kieran, an opportunity to learn about St. Kieran. He's 7, and we thought it'd be pretty cool, didn't we? So thank you all for your time. I really appreciate being able to share the vitae of St. Kieran with you, and I look forward to seeing all of your videos. Thanks.